Hello everyone, I'm the Nerdy Fool and welcome back to Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. Where we left off last time, we had made our character, it was our first stream of this game, we'd made our character a psyker, pyromancy focused soldier, and we're making our way through the ship. We had been betrayed by the Master of Whispers, which got us into the warrant chamber. Though we weren't named the Rogue Trader because there already was a Rogue Trader. But by the end of the stream, making our way through the ship, we found the Rogue Trader was dead. We'd been tested by fire and chose to run through it, which was the dogmatic choice. And so that proved that our trust in the Emperor was strong enough that we could run through fire and survive. Let's see, what else occurred? We were making our way to the helmsman because we were trying to get there before the navigator had succumbed to possession so that we could translate back to real space, because right now we're traveling through the warp. And we were on our way there, I believe, when we got attacked by some of these heretics and this combat servitor and barely managed to survive. I guess we survived well enough. It felt very challenging, but we pulled it off, and now we are continuing. I think we're also trying to make our way to Edelthrad, who was the other potential heir, but also suffering from warp corruption to some extent. But he was also trying to help get things settled with this whole betrayal. I think that's a reasonable review of what happened, at least what's on my mind at the moment. And I guess it's just the four of us. What was our scan around? That tab. Okay. Want to make sure I don't miss anything, as always. We'll just grab those for our cargo. Lore warp 100%. Well, I like those chances.
I did fine.
The horrific vision is a product of the warp energies that permeate the bridge. Horrific vision of what? Just looks like pulsating... I don't know. I would guess this is where you would have, you know, the space map. If we're on the bridge. That's what I assume that is normally used for. I doubt we can get over here. We cannot. I guess the only thing we can do is keep pushing forward this way.
The first sacrifice opens the ark. The second sacrifice draws its gaze.
You are here. But where is the Lord Captain?
Edelthrad looks somewhat harrowed, but is still in one piece. He glances at you, then over your shoulder, clearly alarmed. It's interesting that we've decided to stop and chat. Like, obviously, finding out what's going on with Edelthrad is important, but he's clearly doing some sort of warp sorcery ritual, and so I would immediately start shooting to try and stop whatever he's doing, because that's gotta be the most important thing at the moment, is stopping whatever ritual he's performing. Theodore von Valentius is dead. I found her and the Archmilitant in the study. The Lord Captain will not be joining us. We'll let him know the truth. He, from what we've seen so far, he is also a good, honest person, as opposed to the Master of Whispers here. So we'll give him the facts.
God Emperor, preserve us. The rogue traitor is dead. The ship has lost her Lord Captain, and the house its head.
Edelthrad's eyes widen. Yes, that is a problem.
No matter what ritual Kunrad is performing there, the warp is too strong. I cannot withstand it. I feel my body changing with every second. The warp is ringing in the air. This is the end. We will perish in the warp, along with the warrant and all the dynasty's heirs. The enemy of humanity has triumphed.
Edelthrad shudders and grabs his shoulder. As you watch, the sleeve of his jacket bursts open and 2 bone growths pierce through the fabric. So they were saying that he was struggling because he was a psyker, but we're also a psyker and we don't seem to be having any of these same effects. And I don't know if that's just because this is how the game was programmed regardless of who you play, that you're going to be fine and he's going to be having trouble with the warp. But it feels like there should be some difference here for our character since we've chosen to play as a psyker. Although it's possible he's an unsanctioned psyker and they therefore aren't as well trained in how to handle the warp because they've just learned kind of on their own. We don't know his background per se.
I've seen it before. We'd better get away from him. The changes are already accelerating.
I forgot, we have Adira here and she's also an unsanctioned psyker and she's also fine. What is causing Edelthrad specifically and only to have trouble? Don't know. Adira looks anxiously at Edelthrad, then she glances back at you. I forbid you the very thought of yielding. Only by resigning to your fate will you truly suffer defeat. The ship can still be steered out of the warp, but we must first restore communication between the bridge and the navigator's sanctum. Perhaps the warp does not have to be the end. I mean, the sensible option is just letting him know our plan. We can still steer out of the warp. But part of me also does like that top option of just commanding that he not yield. Because a lot of Warhammer 40k is all about people's beliefs shapes the warp and the Imperium around them, which causes reality to change. In the same way that our belief in the Emperor was strong enough that we could run through fire and it cleared a path through the fire ahead of us so that we could run through safely because we believed in it enough. So I'm gonna go with the top option, though I'm not a charismatic guy, so maybe I'm having one of my advisors, my helpers, give the statement instead. I forbid you the very thought of yielding. Only by resigning to your fate will you truly suffer defeat.
Words worthy of a righteous soul.
Ha! Yep, Argenta likes that.
Save the lofty words for later, will you? The navigator's ready to take the ship out of the warp if he gets some help from the bridge.
Then we have no right to bow our heads.
Edelthrad stares at you and his eyes harden with cold resolve once more. Yeah, there we go. Stay focused, we'll get through this. Meanwhile, he's still doing his ritual. You can see Kunrad Votvir clearly in the gloom of the bridge. The broken blade he is holding is stained with dark drops that seem to have a pearlescent glimmer to them. There was the strange glass, like broken glass that we saw in the Lord Captain's chamber near where she was dead that I think were described as having a pearlescent glimmer as well. So I wonder if that unknown glass is related to this strange blade he's wielding.
We are out of time.
Edelthrad bites his knuckles, desperately thinking. You see a wave ripple across the whites of Edelthrad's eyes, and they begin to turn a sickly yellow. Draw your weapon, Votvir, duplicitous cur, the rogue trader's death will be avenged. To Edelthrad, that complicates things. Or to the party, ready your weapons, if we are to die this day, let us die with honor. I don't think we're going to already be assuming we're going to die. I like the idea of telling our party to ready our weapons. And calling him out, insulting him for his treason, I don't think that would even faze him. I'm going to assume that this is being said not as doom and gloom as it sounds. If we are to die this day, let us die with honor. But just a telling our party it is time to fight. Ready your weapons. If we are to die this day, let us die with honor.
No. To die altogether is to allow the flame of the dynasty to perish in the dark. No, it will not be like this. Not today.
Yeah, he's focusing on the dying, where I've... Apparently that statement is designed to be a I've already given up. That we've already assumed we've lost. Oh well. Continue.
The ritual will not be completed. I'll take care of it. And you, see to it that the voidship breaks free from the warp. Watch over our realm. And farewell.
Edelthrad lowers his head, then he sighs and locks eyes with you, his gaze cold, haughty, and fanatical. I'm impressed. So between Edelthrad and the Navigator, those are two people that were heavily overcome by the warp, and yet have enough sense of self to focus on completing whatever mission needs to be completed, regardless of how, like, they know they're going to die, but trying to do one last act with what time they have left to save everyone else. Yeah.
Accursed traitor! A time will come when you will bleed for her ladyship Theodora's murder. Remember my words, for they are the vow of he who marches toward his death.
Good line.
What? Theodora is dead? No, that can't be. Not now. I still haven't.
Voldvir stares at you in seemingly genuine bewilderment. Yeah, we noticed when she was dead that there was the assumption, was it Voldvir that did it? And I assumed it wasn't him, because he would have wanted her to suffer and she was killed too quick. So it does seem like he is unaware that she's already died, so he is not guilty of her death. He started the mutiny that's probably led to her death, but I think he's also being played by some higher force.
Your ritual won't be finished, heretic!
That's not a good sign.
Here we go again.
Surrender to the dark powers!
Defeat the warp beast. Did Edelthrad just become Chaos Spawn? In his effort to stop the ritual, and now he's against us. That's not ideal. Is Voldvir amongst this group? Where did he go? He doesn't appear to, because we saw him run back. Because I'd like to kill him if he's around, but it seems like he's not part of this battle. Okay, so we get to place our characters. I'm definitely going to want our character to be somewhere back in cover. Same with Argenta. I guess same with basically everyone. Adira and then Abelard will be running up front to tank, which is probably going to turn out poorly for him. He is last in the initiative. I may not actually want him. We'll put him in half cover here. No, let's... Oh, I can't shift her over any farther. There... Alright, we'll put you over here. Adira, you can go to that side. And then we can have Abelard... Oh, he can't get there either, so he can't really get to cover. We'll just shift ourselves farther. No, if I put him here, he's gonna not be able to... He'll have to run all the way around, which will probably slow him down too far. We're gonna have him in half cover. Not super thrilled with that plan, but it's fine. But I see no point in having him up front, just taking shots by everyone. Enemy status. You will encounter enemies with various abilities and features. An icon next to the enemy's portrait indicates that they are under the influence of some kind of effect. Click right mouse button on the effects icon to see more details. If you wish to learn more about an enemy, click right mouse button on their portrait or the enemy themselves. Okay, so you have some effect on you. Natural armor. Creature's armor depends on the amount of its wounds. If it has more than 70% of its total wounds, it has 55% armor. If it has 70 to 40% of its total wounds, it has 40% armor. If it has less than 40% of its total wounds, it only has 25% armor. Also, it always suffers 20% toxic and fire damage. Oh, plus 20% toxic. I was thinking only 20% and so reduced damage. But no, it's going to take additional toxic and fire, which is nice. So it's got a melee attack. Does that mean it's attacking twice with its melee? Maybe. Has a toxic spurt. 3x3 toxic zone which lasts for 2 rounds. Not good. Target makes a toughness test. If failed, the target suffers bleeding for 5 rounds. Devour. The creature devours an ally, restoring 30% of its creature's maximum wounds. Bestial Rage. Natural Armor. And Combat Master. So we definitely want to get its wounds down quickly, so that its armor also goes down. But I also want all of these guys dead as quickly as possible. Luckily, they all have 9 hit points, so they're not going to last too long. I could go with something like this, which would hit and kill 2 of them, plus still hurting him. Or I could try and light him on fire. Just to start the fight out. And I think I'll do that. I'll light him on fire, then we'll do run and gun, stay where we are, so not actually move, but then do our lightning strike. We're almost certainly going to have Perils of the Warp during this fight, because we're already starting out with 9 Veil Degradation. Chaos Spawn that's probably going to do more warp stuff, and then having 2 psykers. It's going to be bad. So let's light you on fire. No line of sight. Well, that's a problem. You seriously can't see it from here? Okay. Well then, move over here, unfortunately to half cover. Then light it on fire. Where it will continue to burn and take additional damage. Then we'll use run and gun. If I have you go here, can you actually hit these guys? I think so.
Absolutely not.
No.
I'll pass.
So you really can't see from that square. That is unfortunate. Okay, we'll still run and gun. And then where you're standing, attack all of them.
Nothing of value has been lost.
That kills off the 2 of them and does a bit more damage to the Chaos Spawn. And that will be your turn, I believe. Nothing left to do. What is Revel in Slaughter again? It's a new ability we got recently. after we have killed 3 enemies, then we can remove the winded effect that we got for run and gun. Okay.
Death to non-believers!
Good dodge. We have been wondering about momentum because we've gotten high momentum before, but we didn't seem to have any way to do our heroic act. So I assume it was just turned off until this point. To use the unique abilities called heroic acts or desperate measures, momentum is required. Depending on the actions of your party in combat, the momentum bar will increase or decrease. A high momentum value allows a character to use a heroic act. A low value grants access to desperate measures. Both abilities can completely change the course of a battle, but every party member can either use one or the other, and only once in a single combat. Okay. Firearm mastery. So we all get to use it once per combat. It's not gonna be a resource that I choose which character uses it and then the rest can't. The soldier gains the ability to make a number of extra attacks equal to their weapon's rate of fire, minimum 2, using the weapon's attack that normally costs the least AP. These attacks do not spend AP. Until the end of the soldier's turn, their first attack against each new enemy automatically scores a critical hit. Okay. So your weapon's rate of fire is 4, so we would be making 4 single shots with her, and each one would count as a crit if it's on a new enemy. Who can you see from here? You don't have line of sight on him. I think you don't have line of sight on anyone. So do we move her out so that she can see people? I'm not thrilled about putting her that far forward, but she might have to be there in order to see this guy. I thought there's supposed to be lines showing her visual range to different enemies. Okay, so from there she can see all of them. What about back here? She can't see that one anymore. So if I pushed her to here, then used the heroic act, she could shoot all of them with crits. If I'm understanding that correctly. It would leave her out in the open, but that's probably fine because then we only have 2 enemies left. One of them being the chaos spawn, which is a problem. And it's going pretty soon. But ideally we want to get most of these enemies out of the way so they don't have turns. So yes, go there. Use this ability. The first shot here, 95%. Wow. Next shot here, 95%. Can't believe you missed a 95% shot. Then here, you've missed 2 95% shots. Come on. Can I actually get you to shoot 4 shots on this with your last attack? Could I have gotten her to use this on every attack? I guess that I don't know. 68, 69. We'll go with the 69% shot and see if we can get 4 hits on it.
As the Emperor commands.
And we didn't take out all the guys I was hoping to. We only took out one of them. not ideal. Ooh, we could also then run and gun to get another shot.
I'll do it.
She can't pull back to cover, sadly. If you were here, you do have a shot on that cutthroat. So yes, move back to here. Furious Recital grants momentum equal to 6. The ability also grants an additional 3 momentum for each enemy that is either in a 5-cell radius or was hit by her this turn. Okay. We'll go with single shot again. Again, 95%.
Doubt is for the weak. Eradicated.
Then Furious Recital.
I'll do it.
That gets us a good amount of momentum back, because she did attack the Chaos Spawn. Can you reload?
I will.
No. Takes 3 AP. And she only has 1, so that's going to be the end of her turn. Still a reasonably good turn. She took out 2 enemies, did a decent amount of damage to the Chaos Spawn, and got our momentum back up quite a bit.
They shields me.
Alright, well she got 2 dodges. That's good. Alright. What do I want you to do? So, enemies coming up. We're gonna have all of us have a turn before they get to go again, basically. Besides Argenta. So I don't think I need Adira to be the one to do the kills. What do you have going on? Bleeding. That's not ideal. We're all bleeding, actually. Except for me. Huh. Let's see. Analyze enemies is probably a thing I want to get going on the Chaos Spawn. Then I could expose weakness. Which is 1 AP, and then the shout is 2 AP, so that would be her remaining actions. Part of me also wants to do forewarning to help someone out. Probably Abelard, because he's going to be the one mainly going toe-to-toe with the Chaos Spawn. But I'm thinking also potentially Argenta, because she's going to want to back up. And that's probably going to provoke an attack of opportunity. We'll hold off on exposing weakness. We can run that next turn, because we can stack up more analyze enemies. And then have a bigger expose of weaknesses next turn. So instead, we will do forewarning on Argenta. Just to try and help her stay alive a bit better. And then do a scream on the Chaos Spawn.
Anything is.
Okay. And then we... yeah, that's our turn with Adira. Abelard. Probably going to have you charge. And hopefully brace for impact and endure.
Victory is imminent.
Nice strike. You get another strike, don't you? You do. You're able to devour
Injured. I'm enraged.
on our turn. Huh. So they took out... What happened exactly? Yeah, it took out a cutthroat, one of the living ones, healing itself for 38 wounds. Back to basically full. That is not good. Then hit all of us. Caused veil degradation. Then got a free attack on our turn against Argenta. I'm not sure exactly how that all played out, but it didn't play out in my favor. Anyway, brace for impact. And endure.
Indeed.
Alright. Ideally, we would want to take out this guy as well. Argenta is in bad shape. Hopefully she can heal herself. Do we ignite him again? Possibly. We're definitely super high up in the veil degradation. You can see ghostly forms wandering around. But I think the most powerful attack I have would be... Yeah, 2 to 3 damage at 55%. Nope. We're gonna ignite him. 6 to 10 damage. Much better.
Nothing I can't do.
Can I do another ignite? Looks like that's what it's claiming. Interesting. I went here. Could I ignite this guy?
Not my specialty.
No. So I'd have to go somewhere like here. That's right, we got our psi rating up, so our ignite is actually pretty useful at this point. But yeah, I would have to stand here, I guess, to hit that guy. Or do I just keep igniting the chaos spawn? At the cost of veil degradation. I don't know what happens when we hit 20. Probably not good, though.
All too easy.
Okay, so we can't keep using it
I don't have time for this.
because it counted as an attack. I don't know why we got to use it twice in a single turn. But let's get ourselves back into cover at this point.
I shall not fear.
And that'll be the end of our turn. I want you to pull back, but I'm super worried that doing so is going to provoke an attack of opportunity. Can you heal yourself? Yes. Do that first. Then pull back.
I will bathe this battlefield in
Yeah,
precious
there's the
fury.
attack. Good dodge. Possibly helped by having the forewarning. And then make sure you don't hit Abelard, because that would make me sad. Okay, that's 68%. If I want the 71%, Abelard's in range, which we don't want. So let's go for the 68% shot.
Faith without.
That's good. Okay. That'll be your turn. No.
That's when you still draw breath. Pain and duty go hand in hand.
Alright, Adira. Put forewarning on Abelard.
Was it you? Or
And then... if you pull out a gun, what could you do to this guy? You can't see him. Sure, of course you can't. Then never mind on that. Think analyze enemies again to get 2 more stacks of exploits on this.
anything else?
And then you have 2 AP remaining. So Psychic Shriek, which you can't use on him because you can't see him. Do I pull you back somewhere where you can see? I really want this guy dead before he gets a turn. And that means it's either us or Adira that kills him. From here, would you have line of sight? Oddly, no. Why?
Not the scryers, George.
I don't know if I agree with that. You should have a line of sight there. Particularly since he keeps shooting up at us. But it probably wants us to be able to take a step over to be able to see him. Because he's got full cover or something, and we don't have cover from that side. Probably some nonsense like that is happening. Alright, then Psychic Shriek on this guy.
There is movement in the Imperium.
Oh, I didn't still want you moving back there.
No, my ears are ringing.
Well, that's... forgot to undo the movement, so that was a mistake. Well, we're at 20. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's your turn, and you are out in the open with a cutthroat. Probably going to shoot at you.
I've suffered worse.
Abelard could heal himself. Health-wise, though, he's still alright for now. Can you do endure every turn?
At your beck and call.
I guess so. And then just strike at him.
I will do my duty.
Looks like he's about half dead. Alright, we have no means of dealing with this guy either. I assume. So I think we just keep destroying the warp in the area, the veil.
Nothing I can't do.
Light you on fire again. Then run and gun. Are you standing in acid or something that I need to worry about? I think the answer to that is no.
Nothing I can't do.
Strike of terror pierces the heart. We could do some movement if I wish to try and get to a point where we could attack this guy. I'm worried that if we ran past here, it would be close enough that we'd get an attack of opportunity against us. Just being in that diagonal corner. No, I'm going to stay where I am. This guy hopefully will have to move. No, he's going to be able to shoot Adira from where he is. It sucks that he can hit Adira, but he can see and shoot Adira, but Adira can't shoot him. I don't like that. I feel like we need to move forward. Oh, it's such a bad move, but I'm going to attempt it. We'll see if the attack of opportunity happens for walking in this diagonal corner. I think it will. It did not. Well, good stuff. He missed, so our misclick to stand there did not cost us. That's good. You need to reload, which takes 3 AP, unfortunately. And then you can do a single shot.
As the Emperor commands, I act.
And that'll be your turn.
Just a minor setback.
Good parry. High momentum again. Okay, what does your momentum do for you? Dismantling attack. The operative immediately inflicts 1 exploit on all enemies in combat, and then makes a free attack against a target. That attack always hits. Till the end of combat, the target of this attack suffers a -30 penalty to dodge and a -30% penalty to armor. Taking out its dodge and armor would be nice. But I don't know. I don't know what everyone else's abilities are. I kind of want to see them before I just use up hers because it happens to be available. Step forward here. That'll get you out of his line of sight. And then you should... I believe we've seen that Ignatius was able to attack from this corner. So go there. Oh, you ran through the acid, poison, whatever it is. That sucks. Anyway, so this time you can analyze enemies, which gets him another stack. Then expose weakness. Then if you use Psychic Shriek, should do more damage? Is that doing more damage? Hard to tell. Down to 27 health though, we're getting there. Edelthrad, you have made this fight so much harder, just in case you were curious. Alright, definitely keep enduring. Two AP, and then 1 AP, yeah. Use a medkit on yourself.
Field medicine at its finest.
And then strike.
It will be done.
All right. If I went here, could I see this guy? Yes. To just get him out of the fight.
Already done.
Perfect. Till the end of combat, the soldier gains the following bonuses. It would remove winded, which would allow me to run and gun, which would get me another attack. Yeah. Revel and slaughter. Then I could run and gun. What is your bonus? Oh, yeah, it's the same as Argenta's, which doesn't really help us as much because we're not doing gun attacks. What's our rate of fire for this? We'll run and gun. We'll get another attack off on you.
Nothing I can't do. You didn't stand a chance.
There it is. Another level up. Nice. That was a bit of a tricksy fight. But I don't think any of us had lasting injuries. We did not. Alright. So starting with our character. What do you get at this level? A characteristic increase. Think willpower. Boosting your willpower is always going to be good because you're primarily going to be our psyker. Ballistic skill I don't think matters as much. Agility would be nice. This would get it up to a 40. Versus a 55 doesn't actually raise our willpower bonus, but it means next time I can keep increasing our willpower. Versus this would help our agility bonus. Initiative, dodge chance. No, we'll go with willpower. I think I'm going to go with willpower basically every time. And then you get another talent. The first psychic power used each turn increases veil degradation by 2 points less. If this talent reduces the effect on veil degradation to less than 0, veil degradation is instead decreased by 1. So is this claiming that we actually cleanse the veil degradation that's been occurring? So it's not reducing the increase to veil degradation by 1, but we're actually decreasing veil degradation by 1. So we, by casting psychic powers that don't degrade the warp by much, we instead actually heal the degradation, which would make it easier for us to have a unsanctioned psyker in the party with us who destroys the warp around us. That is potentially very good. Then we could go with something like Still Mind, where if the degradation is lower, we get benefits. Raising Resolve is nice. I don't think it's terribly important. But again, here's another one. If Veil Degradation is 10 or lower, then we get some benefits. Regain AP in this case. I guess the thought is either we go for Psychic Barrage to do more damage, or Stabilizing Factor to heal the warp. I think I'm going to go Stabilizing Factor just to be on the safe side. Because I don't know what Veil Degradation does. Psychic Phenomena and all that. Each time a Psyker uses psychic powers, the veil between real space and the warp degrades and can trigger psychic phenomena. Psychic phenomena are more disconcerting than dangerous, intruding into the thoughts of people around the Psyker, causing omens and visions. Psychic phenomena reduces the momentum, distracting them from combat, lowering their morale, and causing bad luck. Psykers can be sanctioned or unsanctioned. Chances of sanctioned Psykers will cause psychic phenomena are halved, while unsanctioned psykers instead have an increased chance and +1 to their psi rating. Yeah. Perils of the Warp. Whenever Veil Degradation reaches 15 and a major psychic power is activated, the chance of happening is 10 plus psi rating plus Veil Degradation %. Perils of the Warp are dangerous to anyone in the vicinity of a psyker. Their manifestations can push away characters, damage them, summon demons, fill the area with motive force charges, and much more. I want to avoid that. So stabilizing factor, where we're actually healing the warp by using our psychic powers. At least the first psychic power we use in a turn. Eventually we'll be using multiple in a turn. Feels good. Means we're not getting the extra damage, but we can get that later. Next, Abelard. You get a characteristic increase. I think I'm going to go with weapon skill. We could boost your toughness, because he is the tank. So having him do more damage is good, but more we want him to survive. And Carouse is the skill we've built him for. Do I just want him to be able to do better? Increases their parry. He's usually fighting against other frontline people, and so his parry does matter. So maybe we do go with his weapon skill. Is this saying it's raising it to a 40? Is it currently an odd number? I think that is what it's saying, is it's currently an odd number. So, weapon skill there. Do we have to choose your talent first? For whatever reason. Oh, I don't want to have to read through all of your options. Thick skin also sounds good. Deflection was just damage reduction, so he would reduce all damage coming in by 1, and then increase his parry chance based on his armor, which we're going to be getting him better and better armor, I'm thinking. I think I'm going to just go with thick skin. At some point, probably on my own time, I need to take the time to go through all of these and sort of figure out what direction I'm building these characters towards. Like, figure out a build plan. But for now, I'm going to just sort of choose ones that seem good. Because I don't want to take the time to read through all of them. Alright, Adira. You are also a psyker. So boosting your willpower seems like it'd be good. But you're also an operative, which I think her operative abilities, do they benefit from... Yeah, if the operative hits a target with an exploit stack, the attack deals 5 plus perception bonus. So boosting her perception makes analyze enemies better. So, if we wanted to focus on more of our operative abilities, then intelligence and perception would be the ones to focus on. If we want to keep focusing on her psyker abilities, then willpower. Her willpower is already a 60. Perception would be good because we could actually get it up to 50. So it'd be raising the perception bonus. So I am going to go perception just to get it up to a +5 bonus, which will help everything. They are not actually recommending any talents for her. That's weird. Because usually you have the, like, thumbs up, these are good choices. And she could get the same options here. We can't get her Psyker Minoris yet to get her Psi rating up by +1. Because she's not a sanctioned Psyker, she has to wait till level 9. And we are level 5, I'm assuming. But we could get her Psychic Barrage just to do more damage from range. We could also get her Stabilizing Factor so that she doesn't wreck the warp. I don't know. I'll go with Psychic Barrage. No. We'll give her Stabilizing Factor as well. Just to try and keep the warp in a healthy state. Then we can go Psychic Barrage, probably for ourselves and her next level. Alright, Argenta. You're a soldier and you're actually going to be doing soldiery things. So ballistic skill is currently at 45, so this will get it up to a 50. Your agility is 50, this will get it to a 55, which is not as impressive. I'd rather get you shooting better. We'll go with muzzle velocity. If she bursts attacks more, then she'll be doing extra damage. I'm just going to call it good. It's a fine choice, and I'm not going to keep reading through them. Just want to keep moving on.